You've been told you think too much. And part of you believed it. But what if the problem isn't that your mind goes too deep? What if it's that no one ever explained why it does? You replay conversations. You notice the pause before someone answered. The slight change in tone. The word they almost said but didn't. While others moved on, you were still there running it back, frame by frame. And at some point, you started wondering if something was wrong with you. Because it's exhausting. And lonely. And the people around you don't seem to carry this weight. Here's what psychology actually says about this. There's a trait researchers call sensory processing sensitivity studied extensively by psychologist Elaine Aron. People with this trait don't just perceive more. Their brains process more. Deeper. Longer. The neural pathways associated with awareness, empathy, and reflection stay active well after an experience ends. This isn't anxiety pretending to be intelligence. This is a genuinely different cognitive style. And it comes with a cost, but also something most people quietly overlook. Think of your mind like a high-resolution camera. Most people are shooting in standard definition. They capture enough. They move on. But you're recording in 4K. Every detail. Every layer. Every shadow in the background. The image is richer, but it takes longer to render. And when you're surrounded by people who've already moved to the next frame, it feels like a malfunction. It isn't. So what do you do with a mind that won't stop? Step 1. Separate signal from noise. Not every thought deserves equal weight. Cognitive behavioral research shows that highly sensitive thinkers often experience thought-action fusion, the feeling that thinking something makes it more real or likely. Your task isn't to stop thinking. It's to ask, is this thought giving me information, or just generating heat? A real-life version of this: before a difficult conversation, your mind floods with worst-case scenarios. Most won't happen. But 1 or 2 observations in that flood? Those are actually worth keeping. Step 2. Name the pattern, not the content. Neuroscience tells us that labeling an emotional or cognitive experience, what researchers call affect labeling, reduces activity in the amygdala. When you say, "I'm catastrophizing," instead of drowning in what you're catastrophizing about, your prefrontal cortex re-engages. You shift from being inside the thought to observing it. That small distance changes everything. Step 3. Use your depth intentionally. Your mind goes deep by default. That's not the problem. The problem is going deep on the wrong things, at the wrong time. Schedule it. Literally. Psychologists call this worry time, a contained window where you allow full reflection, then return to the present. It sounds too simple. It works because it respects how your brain is wired, instead of fighting it. Step 4. Recognize insight when it arrives. Here's what most people miss. Overthinkers are often the first to notice something is wrong in a relationship, a plan, a situation. Not because they're paranoid. Because their pattern recognition runs deeper. Validate that. Write it down when it happens. Over time, you'll learn to trust the signal inside the noise. Here's the model to carry with you. You are not a broken, simple machine. You are a complex instrument in a world that often prefers simple tools. That's not a flaw to fix. It's a difference to understand and eventually, to use. You were never thinking too much. You were just never shown how to think with yourself, instead of against yourself. That changes now. Not because you're fixed, but because you finally know what you're working with.